guys. Welcome to Let's Talk Girl Talk. This is your girl, Krys King, author of Crossed in Love.
It's your girl, Chanel Scott, creator of Ministry.
Stevie Baggs Jr., author, actor, speaker, owner of Dream Cafe. What's up?
Hey.
So y'all, we're going to be talking about dating from a male perspective, and I have my boy here, Stevie Baggs. He's going to give us his perspective. Now, I already warned y'all about him, right? I already told y'all he a different kind of species.
I'm over here.
He over here, but look, we're going to get some of that personal experiential knowledge.
Yeah.
But before we start, okay, now I'm going to have to degrade you for a little bit.
All right.
All right. See, ladies, all of this is real, okay? Now, obviously, if I do this, they can feel it through the camera.
Can y'all feel that?
Y'all feel that? Okay. He smells
real.
so good. And babe, if you're watching,
Essential
I'm doing
oils.
this for them, not for me. Okay?
Yeah, I don't want no problems, bro. I come in peace. You know what I'm saying? I come in peace, Mr. King. Nah, this is gonna be fun. I'm excited. What's up, everybody? I just want to say something before we get started.
Okay.
Shout out to Houston, man. We're praying for everybody out there.
Yes.
And, you know, we can talk about relationships, but we also have to talk about the reality of what our people are going through. The human race is really dealing with some real traumatic things. And so we just want to send our prayers and energy out to the people in Houston.
And I'm glad that you mentioned that because we was going to wait to the end of the show.
Oh, okay.
But guys, Texas has been devastated by Hurricane Harvey. So try your best to donate. I know Convoy of Care are taking water bottles. They do that Tuesday through Thursday. Check your local cities to see how you can help out. Even if you shop at your local Kroger and round up to the nearest dollar, those proceeds can go to helping these victims.
And we have a drop box at Dream Cafe downtown Atlanta as well. So if you want to come drop off some items for these folks, we got someone picking up this weekend. And so yeah, man, we really want to help the people that are on the ground in the trenches that need that help. So yeah.
Look at this good Samaritan. See,
know.
cutie pie and a good
real.
person.
It's
See,
real.
see. Okay, so now we're going to be talking about how dating is from a man's point of view.
Okay, y'all have questions for me?
We absolutely have questions.
All right.
Go ahead and kick it off, Krys.
Okay, so when you're dating, all right, and you're single, am I
yes.
right? Okay, so you're single. When you date, what are you looking for in the woman that you're dating?
So before I start, I just want to preface this by saying, this is my opinion, my humble opinion, and then I don't ask people to think like me. I just want you to think like me. So you don't have to think like me, just think. And so and when I say that, think outside the box of systematic, traditional things that we have been taught over the years. Okay? And then the last part of it is that I feel as though anytime I'm in the presence of someone and they're speaking and they're giving their perspective, I just take the meat and I leave the bones.
Right.
So that's all I'm asking people to do. Just take the meat of what I'm saying and leave the bones. And so to answer your question, what I'm looking for, excuse me, I'm trying to set up my
We're trying to
thing.
get it right, y'all.
So
That's messy.
what I'm looking for, truthfully, is a spiritual connection, a synergy. I call it synergy, which is spirit and energy combined. And someone who is open to expanding their level of consciousness and spirit beyond what we've been taught. Because of course you want to be attracted to them. Of course you want them to be ambitious. Of course you want them to have the qualities that you have or that you hold important. Like for me, family is important. Like I said, ambition is important. But when we get past all of that, we got to be equally yoked on levels that are greater than what we've been taught. Or it's just religion, or you got a good job, or you look good. It has to be deeper than that, because when the relationship gets tried and tested to a level or a degree where your cuteness don't matter, your good job don't matter, you know, all these other attributes don't matter. It's about a connection that we have collectively to help us transcend.
Okay, and how long do you date a person before you know if they have those traits?
So for me, I don't put time on what the Creator gives us. I think time is something that is relative to the perspective on which you're coming from. So like you can read the Steve Harvey book and he says 90 days before you give a man something, right? And all this, I don't subscribe to that. I subscribe to, once again, synergy, which is a spiritual connection along with the energy that you bring to the table. Because I can be the greatest gentleman to you and do all these things, right to get the draws, and then I do that, and then,
Get the
then
draws.
yeah, and then now I'm gone.
Yeah.
You know, I could be the perfect gentleman during the euphoric stage of our situation, and then really crap on you at the end of the day. So I think it's about really squeezing a person during the times you have them. And what squeezes people? Adversity, money, kind of like little small things that you would do during the dating process that I think that people show you at the beginning, but then they don't do at the end. A man will open the door for you at the beginning of y'all relationship, but then, you know, 3, 4, 5 months down the road, he's comfortable. And it's just, so I think it's about trying to find that realness beyond the euphoric stage, or beyond the surface stage of your relationship. That's what I look at.
But that sounds like an extended period of time. Like, how do you find the balance so that you don't, like how you just so eloquently described, get crapped on? You know, like that person could show you like the perfect person, and then you're thinking, hey, you know, we have great chemistry, because I think what you're describing, that synergy, that energy is chemistry.
Absolutely.
You know, and then I've seen it. You know, you think you have great chemistry with someone, and then you take it the next step, and then next thing you know, they disappear.
But okay, so the chemistry, what I want to ask you all is, what is chemistry? The chemistry is, we feel him, y'all as women will feel him enough to say, okay, I'm willing to open myself up on a deeper intimacy to give him my body, right? Is that chemistry? Or is it chemistry just on,
For me, I noticed the chemistry between me and another individual like almost immediately. Okay. Like, you can kind of tell when you have great chemistry. Obviously, you have to get to know that person, and you know that's through communication, spending time. But I typically know if I have chemistry with a man after the first few conversations, like, and then we just have to strengthen that bond, or that vibe. That's the word nowadays, that vibe. Yeah. You know, we have to.
Yeah, and that is vibration is key, because vibration is everything. We're all vibrating, and on what level are we vibing? I mean, truly. And what's the intent of this, right? I think that, you know, I say that I told Chanel I was gonna say this.
He told me y'all.
But I tell men and women this alike. Men, if you unzip your pants, zip up your ego. And women, if you keep your pants zipped up, man, if you keep your pants zipped up, you can unleash your ego from the standpoint of being totally yourself and being totally comfortable with expressing your sentiments of how you feel. Mm-hmm. So the flip side of it is women. If you open your legs, close your emotions, and if you keep your legs closed, you can keep your emotions open to really see the intent of what this man has to offer and what he's doing in your life. And okay, it's very difficult with that, because women are emotion first, ego second. Men are ego first.
I think I'm
emotion
ego
second.
first.
I doubt it.
I have a very good control over my emotions, but I see what you're saying though. Like, you know,
on the grand scheme of things, right?
Right.
Typically, more women are built to be emotionally inclined as men are ego inclined.
Right.
Because it's like, the first thing you do. Y'all remember being young in college? You dated a dude, and y'all was kicking it, and the first thing when y'all messed up, the first thing you attacked was his ego.
Oh, by like saying he's small or something?
You ain't put it down anyway. But y'all been kicking it for all this time. Now he ain't put it down anyway. You know, that attacks ego. But then when he does something to you, it attacks your emotions.
Right.
Oh, you thought she was better than me? Or, oh my God, you know, what did you see in her? You know, that's an emotional characteristic. We can't let our emotions, our ego, or our egos control us when we're talking about this whole dating thing, because it becomes a thing that it's going to be a yin and a yang, because we're always kind of vibing on a different level on intent. That's why you got to be truthful with the intent of what you want, in my humble opinion.
So the intentionality is what you're talking about. A lot of people are not authentic.
No.
You know, people will they'll show you something. I mean, I get it all the time. The representative.
Right.
You're thinking, okay, we have great chemistry. You know, we are vibing. And then you find out that person has some other intention.
So when do you let them know where you are? Do you do it the first date, second date, third date? When do you let them know where you are and what your intentions are?
For me, I try to be as transparent as I can at the door, off the dribble. You know, first date, because I think you give people respect you more when you tell them your truth. Whether or not they agree with your truth, they respect the fact that that's your truth.
So what's your truth, Stevie?
Well, when I'm dating, it depends on who I'm dating.
Okay.
If I'm dating someone who I feel I want to move forward and I can see myself truthfully marrying, I say, look, My intent with you is to see if we can move forward together on some serious stuff.
How do you determine
I
that?
think, once again, it's not something that is set in stone.
Okay.
I think it's situational. I think it's circumstantial. I think it's just depending on the people you meet. Y'all women know, y'all have met a man who you would be like, girl, I just go ahead and I have fun with him. Like, I know not probably you be married now, but I'm saying people do that. Like, yo, that's just fun. And then you meet a dude that like, man, this guy has qualities that I see myself being with, and I want to have this, you know, for myself for a long time. We feel the same way.
So if you're on the first date and you're dating first date with a lady and she's coming at you with questions, is that a turn off or is that like you understand you're gonna answer them with not being offended?
Questions are good to me. In my humble opinion, questions are always good. Because being inquisitive and asking these questions leads me to where you're at and what your intentions really are. Because if you're asking these questions for a reason,
right?
And whether it's game or not, it'll still put me in the mindset of where you're at.
So go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, but then I would be able to say, I'd be able to answer the questions well enough to let you know, well, this is how I feel. This is my truth on it. So take it or leave it.
Okay. So let me ask you this. In the dating process, do you date multiple women?
Yeah, I think it's healthy to do that. I think it's healthy to date multiple people. I think it's not healthy to commit to one person and have them thinking that y'all just commit to one another. But if you truthfully let somebody know, yeah, I'm dating right now. And I think people get that misconstrued. Yeah, we're dating, but we're dating, but are we committed? That's where communication comes into play. And we got to communicate that.
I mean, my only issue with that, and this is something that I just pray it never happens to me. I don't date multiple men, but you know, I'm finding that I'm going to have to embrace that whole idea of dating multiple women. I mean, multiple women. Not at all. I'm going to have to embrace the idea of dating multiple men just because of that whole thought process. But one of my fears is, okay, so you're on a date with someone that you like, but you're dating multiple people, right? And then you run into someone else that you're dating.
I think that's healthy. Because I think that lets him know that, look, bro, you're not the only one that wants a Bentley. Everybody wants a Bentley. So either you're going to step up to the plate and do the things necessary to give me that attention that I want or that I need, that energy that I need.
That's scary, y'all.
I think it's totally healthy, and I think it's something that more of us need to do. I think from the grand scheme of it all too, when people get married, I think we've been told that this is my wife, you belong to me.
Yeah.
This woman belongs to who created her. Y'all just have a union together, and y'all moving hopefully in unison on a goal and objective to build a family, business, whatever you guys decide to do. But she don't belong to you. It's just like my child, my daughter.
But that's different. When you marry the union, you are. I mean, technically.
I get that, but how many people do you know are walking around literally one? You still have a life you got to live. You still have a purpose that you have to go. That's greater to me. The purpose that the Creator gave you is greater than the purpose that your husband gave you. Now, and I think that when we're teaching this from a religious perspective, that's when it does get misconstrued, because we can go by our own ideals and the theology that we've inherited. But I have a different thought process on the way that melanated people love as opposed to every other culture. And I think that I do think that love has no color. I do feel that way. But I still think that the Eurocentric way that we've been taught what love is not necessarily how we love as a people. And if it was how we love, then we would have much greater relationships. We would be in a much better position as a people in this system and in this country.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Okay. So, how, from a male's perspective, how as women would we know if the guy that we're dating is someone that we should put time into?
Right. That's scary to me.
It is hard because this day and age, it's the microwave age, right? We know it's the technology age, and it's like everybody can get something just like this. But I think that you really have to do self-inventory, and I really think that I have an acronym for the word FLY. I call it first love yourself. If you first love yourself, you'll be able to discern whether or not you should put energy into something or not.
Right.
And sometimes you might miss the boat, but I also think that for people who have this faith, that you know that what's for you is for you at the same time. So you move in a way where you're still moving forward, but you also are very aware, and your discernment is up on whether or not this person is somebody you should put energy into. But loving yourself has a lot to do with that, because when you love yourself, there are certain compromises that you will or will not make to move forward in a situation.
Well, I think what I'm looking for as an answer from you is kind of like, how can you tell a guy is interested in you? What would you do to show that you're interested and want to be taken seriously?
Communication.
Okay.
We know that's big.
That's number one.
I know a lot of women and men, because I'm like this too. I'd rather talk on the phone with you than just straight text you. Now,
we talked about that last week.
See, it's not too many men out there like you nowadays.
I would rather talk on the phone and get to some real understanding and understanding before I just text, because it can get misconstrued.
Yeah.
And so, but in the age we're in, everyone's productive and busy, and everybody's doing all these things. Everybody has 6 or 7 different titles. So yeah, you have to text sometimes to just let the person know that, look, I'm thinking about you. How's your day? And I think that shows that, look, if someone's saying they're thinking about you, even if their intent is wrong, like, it takes time to still text. It takes time to call. So communication is big. I think the second part of it is getting that quality time. Like, when are we gonna be able to hang out? When are we gonna be able to go, do something together and see if that chemistry synergy is there.
Spend time together.
I can't even go in like I have my whole thought process prepared, because I'm pro woman, and I'm like, Stevie, he's single, and I'm gonna bombard him with my questions, and he's like cut from a different cloth. He's cut from a different cloth.
No, but I think that.
Do you think there's a lot of men out there that see things the same way you do?
No, I don't.
Or you feel like
I think there are a lot of men that see it the way I do.
Well,
but I think that guys, we got to look at systematically. They have taught black men and black women to separate from one another.
Okay.
This system, from a corporate perspective, will uplift a black woman, but then won't give a black man a job. Y'all have more degrees than us. Y'all make more money than a lot of men out here these days. So now you're looking at him, dog, you can't even be the provider and protector for me.
I mean, that just depends. I don't think that's systematic. I just think that's just the type of man. If we don't have more degrees just because we have more degrees, we have more degrees because we go out there and get it.
No, but you gotta, once again, you gotta understand systematically the industrial age and the agricultural age. A man didn't have to have a degree to provide for his family. Now you have to have a degree, and that still don't help you provide for your family. I know many men and women, and I know a lot of guys that have master's degrees in debt for school and still can't find a job. And it's not that they don't want to be there, but it's just hard out here. And so the thing about it is, if I cut the head off and tell the man, you're not a provider or protector, and then the woman is looking down on you like, bruh, you're not even on my level, so I can't even really build with you like that.
Yeah.
That's an issue, and it's a serious and it's a real issue, because that's what's got us to this place of being disjointed as a people.
But as an educated woman, how do you overcome, or how do you help a man overcome that level of insecurity or intimidation because he feels like maybe I can't measure up, or because you have this many degrees and I don't?
Well, your humility is what's going to do it.
Okay.
I tell people all the time, if we know what's going on systematically, then we can infiltrate, educate, and vacate. Most educated and celebrated people that look like us infiltrate, educate, and never vacate, never bring it back to their people. And so until we get to a point where we can infiltrate, educate, and vacate, and the queens have to be humble enough to do that, because it's not everybody's not going to play pro football like I did, be on TV and do. Everybody's not going to do that. Then when you get a man who's in that position, now he's at a position where, hold up, I got to make sure someone's intentions are for me and not for what I'm bringing to the table.
Right.
So that's the other hard part about making sure that your synergy's right, and that's one of the reasons why I'm single.
So you're saying what I heard. I'm just saying what I heard.
Okay.
So there's a lot of couples not together because first, women they're independent now. Everybody is independent.
Oh my gosh.
And the men are insecure that they may not be able to do what needs to be done.
And he's
Absolutely.
single because of he has to check the intentions of other women because of his platform.
Mm-hmm.
I heard
I'm
that.
just talking about regular.
No, I'm just saying we want to buy
but no, I'm just saying because the thing about it is that as a man, if I don't feel like I can protect you and provide for you, I'm gonna feel inadequate. Mm-hmm. So the other piece of it is provision and protection is not just tangible; it's spiritual. That's why I keep going back to the spiritual aspect of it. You were born with a spirit. You weren't born with a religion, right? Mm-hmm. So once again, we got to cultivate our spirits to be able to vibrate on a higher level to meet the person that reflects us. Because anytime someone says something good or bad about me, I tell them the same thing. I'm just a reflection of you.
Wow.
That's real talk because whatever you see in me, it got to be in you because I got to be reflecting what you see in me, good, bad, or indifferent. It's the same thing with relationships. You gotta be before you can become. So we all want these people who are successful and great and treat us like this and treat us like that. Hold up, are you really representing that? That's why I go back to first love yourself. When you first love yourself, you can build yourself up to a point where that attracts to you regardless of what happens.
Okay.
When you fly, you're in the air, AIR. So the other side of fly is air. Access, influence, resources. You might have a situation where you have access, you have influence, I have resources, right? Well, if I'm grinding in my resources alone, I'm just a rich dude that has no influence.
Right.
If she's grinding in her influence alone, she's just influential but no access.
Right.
So it's not until I first love myself that I'll be humble enough to connect with someone to then take air. That's really, really key.
That's deep. I think I'm gonna take that.
Well, I mean, hey, I got a lot more where that came from, so you can
Wow.
take. But I think that's the biggest problem is that when I say systematically, I'm talking about television. In the middle of the word television is lie. In the middle of the word religion is L-I, lie. Television and religion help shapes our belief system and our thinking system, even in indigenous cultures. So what I'm saying is, if we know that in the middle of the word belief is lie, and in all our getting we need to get truth, and the truth will set us free. We obviously have not been getting the truth because we're not free. We're in bondage as a people, relationally. Look at the state of this country and this world with the separation on racism and bigotry. That's a relationship.
Yeah.
The prefix to a relationship is relate. The reason you can't connect with people is because you think you don't relate to them because of all these other distractions that are put out there. That's why we're in the situations we're in. And so that's why I tell people, we're not fighting a war on racism. We're not fighting a war on drugs. We're fighting a war on economics. Because I go back to the economics, the provision of it all. If a man feels like he can provide for you and protect you, both spiritually and tangibly, now I'm at peace. I have what they call peace. And when you have peace, you can say, babe, go get your degree. Go do what you want to do. Go live out your purpose and your gifts instead of you got to go to work and slave. And I got to do the JOB, which I call jumping out of bed or just over broke.
Jumping out of bed.
Yeah, just jumping out of bed. People jump out of bed every day and they're not happy. They're not living a life of joy. And this is problematic because now we can't spend the time together to say, what's going on, baby?
Right.
Let me do this for you. Let me do this with the connection is disjointed.
Right. And Chanel, as a single woman, hearing this from a single man, how do you feel in relation to what he's saying? Like, do you connect with what he's saying? Do you have a different outlook on dating?
No, I don't. I agree with everything that he's saying. I just don't meet men with his perspective, with his outlook. I mean, tonight's show is dating from a male perspective, but unfortunately, you don't represent the majority of males.
Yeah.
It's just not the case.
The other part about me is that you guys, like I said, I think outside the box. So when it really comes down to the equally yoked piece, I don't celebrate Christmas. I don't cut a tree down and bring it in my house. I don't believe that Easter bunnies lay eggs because they don't. So I'm thinking about things like that because in the grand scheme of it, being equally yoked and being on one accord and in unison and synergistic and chemistry, that all plays a part. So like, yeah, we good, we vibe well. I love your energy. We go out, we eat, and blah, blah, blah. But then when it comes down to, let's talk about the specifics, the specificity of, she gotta have Christmas, because I grew up on that, and that, you know, and so that could.
So how do you overcome that, though?
You don't
Because
no, well, I think you compromise on things that really are compromisable, and that's not a word, but I think that if you don't stand for something you'll fall for anything from that perspective of, if I don't stand strong and firm as a man on how I believe, we're being misled. And I mean, a lot of our people die on Christmas because they feel like they'll kill themselves because they feel like they can't buy their children something for Christmas.
Right.
So I'm looking at it from that perspective. I'm looking at it from on Black Friday. When I look at Black Friday, it's quote unquote minorities that stand in the line and spend their money on Black Friday when we were the ones being sold on Black Friday. Like, I look at it from these perspectives, and we do all these, once again, things that are distractions from us relating.
let me ask you a question, though, because, I mean, I love your outlook. I love your perspective. But how do you balance that out? Because, I mean, you know, everything can't always be as serious-minded. You know, it has to be like a balance, especially when you're dating and, you know, you meet someone. And we talked about this. Their outlook may not match yours.
Right.
Or their, just how they interpret or articulate may be a little bit different. So how do you balance that out?
Just because you're socially conscious doesn't mean you can't be functional. Like, I like to have fun. I like to have me a drink. You know, I got some red wine. But I'm saying, I think it's a balance deal, right? And if every day is Christmas for us, we don't got to celebrate Christmas. Every day is a blessing. Every day is Christmas. So I think that once we look at it from a different perspective and saying that, oh, well, dang, you just so stringent and you just don't want to have fun. No.
Well, Christmas is actually the celebration of the Lord's, you know, birthday. So it's not all
And
about gifts.
And that's why a lot of times I don't connect with women, because that's not true. The Christmas is really based off of Nimrod's birthday, who was a person who had sex with their mother. And this is what they told us. No. Look it up. If y'all don't believe me, look it up. Look up Nimrod. Look up the sun gods, and look up all the things that they once again distract us with. Because until we get to a point of overstanding instead of just understanding, I told her we're taught to be above and not beneath, the head and not the tail. But then we're taught also that in all our get understanding. Well, the prefix to understanding is under. Why would you want to be under anything? So for me, I got an overstanding. When I got an overstanding, it was kind of like I came out the box. I grew up Pentecostal Christian, so believe me, I get where you're coming from. But when I came outside the box and I was like, oh my gosh, this is what's really going on out here. I got an overstanding, but the greatest standing to get in is an inner standing, which is an interpersonal truth with the Creator, and that's greater than what any man could give you. That's a connection that has me walking around with so much confidence instead of confidence that I can go in any arena and know I'm going to win.
Right.
You know, and it's not about debate. That's your belief system. And if that works for you, do that. That's great. But if we're not on the same wavelength, then it's just going to be something that we got to just leave alone.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm comfortable with that. But there are a lot of conscious people. There's a huge bend in consciousness. And with the technology age, I think it's good because more people are researching. More people are finding out that, look, what Bible did the people in the Bible have? They're questioning things. What's going on with the political system? What's going on? Why is it that us as melanated people, we have influence in political, social, economic, education, and spiritual realm, but we have no power because we have no unity? And so unification, because the devil came to steal, kill, and destroy, right? So if I have you like this, you're separated and disjointed. Your power is less than if I have you here and you're together. A slap is not as powerful as a fist.
So when you're dating, do you?
Yes,
I mean,
I talk about all this.
Okay, so
Hell yeah.
That's the question.
Because it's me. This is me every day. You know, and if I can't be me,
him every day.
If I can't be me, then guess what? Then we can't be.
Right. So I just wanted to make sure.
Okay, so wait a minute. He said something that was very powerful. I think he said if he can't be him, then they can't be.
Right.
in the same token, that woman has to be herself.
Facts. And that's why you have to have a great discernment of what it is that you want.
And even
you got to first love yourself. Right. Go back to that principle.
And not only that, because we talked about this, not only that, if that person has an understanding for themselves.
She's talking about too deep. I'm sorry, baby. Hey, that's just me. I'm sorry.
That's a guy, actually. That's Robert.
Oh, my bad. I thought it was Roberta. My bad, Rob. I'm sorry, bro.
Robert, what's your view on dating?
Oh, he's going now. You don't want to ask him his view.
I know.
His name Robert Chase, so he probably chasing. He's doing a lot of chasing. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Let me just but what I was saying is that because we all have our own personal experiences, personal life experiences, you know, and we even talked about your understanding of Jesus, and you know, you have your own belief. And I know for me personally, I have my own understanding of who Christ is to me. I've experienced him for myself. So what about situations where maybe that person's experiences differ from yours? Are you going to try to change their mind, or are you going to have your belief and you're going to respect their position?
Right. I think it comes down to accounting, like assets and liabilities. And how many assets is this person bringing to the table, and are you willing to compromise once again what's going on?
Right,
and if they're open enough to hear your point and they're willing to kind of see where you're coming from, I think that speaks volumes, because you can tell a tree by its fruit and a fruit by its tree. So my thing is, if you're displaying great fruit and they're seeing that the fruits of your labor are matching up to what you're talking about, that speaks volumes.
Right.
That's greater than anything else for me.
We got a comment. Letitia says that's why it's so important to know who you are first. Absolutely. That's basically real. What I was getting at. Yeah. You have your own personal experiences. As long as you respect that person's position and they respect you. I'm not trying to intrude on or impose my beliefs.
Because guess what? If someone's just being a yes man to you, think about it. You got a lot of women and men. We can go on a date and I can yes man you all day. Oh yes, I love the Lord. I love Christ, and I love the Bible, and I love the church just to be in her close quarters. Well, I think it's more commendable for somebody to be so transparent with you about where they are, who they are, so that it gives you a fair assessment. Do I really want to do this?
Right.
And I think that's big.
Right. I think as long as each person is free to share their views and those views are respected, I don't see an issue with it. As long as the other person doesn't have an issue with it, I think it's okay.
See, I didn't have this while I was dating. It would be hard for me now.
It would be hard for you?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, it's hard dating on all fronts. It is. It's not easy for men. It's not easier for men than it is.
For me, dating is a burden, and it's become even more of a burden since I moved to Atlanta.
Don't blame it on it, man.
Yeah, I hate when people do that. Because I just left Canada.
The reason I say that is because I guess it just depends on the circles that you run in.
Right.
For me, I mean, when you do industry stuff, a lot of times you run, a lot of those gentlemen are gay. That's just the truth of the matter.
Facts.
That's just what it is.
Facts.
I honestly can't, I probably met 2 or 3 since I've been living here for the 2 years that I would even consider potential. It's like, where do you, meet the men? You walk down the street, 9 times out of 10, you're going to meet somebody that's gay. You're going to run into someone that's gay, versus when I lived in other cities, it was a little bit different.
I get that. I mean, I think that in every city, I played on 11 different pro football teams. In every city,
I'm sure you had no issues.
Women say the same. No. Women say the same thing. They say the same thing. It's a shortage of men. It's a shortage of real men.
I'm not saying it's a shortage. I'm just saying I don't know where they are.
But then that means you might have to change your circles.
Thank you.
I mean,
yeah, but I don't. You know what? This is my thing, and I have friends that tell me this all the time. I don't want to do anything outside of myself, meaning go to a bar or go to church just to meet a man. If I'm going to go to church, I'm going to go to worship. But Robert, he says,
he
my
said
thing on dating is if we meet someone, I put my time and energy into that person and that person alone. So he's saying that he doesn't date multiple people. That's what he's saying.
And I respect that. I think people gotta do what they want to do. Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm just, for me personally, I don't think it's healthy until we're committed to one another to not date other people.
I agree.
So, and you can agree, but that's okay. You can agree. But I think for me, if I like the gentleman, I'm just at a place in my life where I know what I want, and I'm probably not gonna go out on a date with you if I don't like you. You know,
And you should.
That's why you gotta lay all that out in the beginning.
And I think it would be very difficult, even if I just recently met him, to like, I might be able to do it for like the first month, where he's going out with, you know, he's dating multiple people, and he's like, you know what, I date. And I might be like, okay, for those first 4 weeks. But after those first 4 weeks, I'm going to say, okay.
It depends on how much time you guys are.
It depends on the time, and it depends on who the brother is. Because I guarantee you, like, if it's someone who has enough qualities that she likes and appreciates, she'll wait just like he would wait if she has those same qualities that he appreciates in her. So I think it's circumstantial, and that's what I'm saying. You can't put a time limit on things when you talk about dating, when you talk about life. Because I know people who got married after the first one night stand. I do know that. I know people who've been. So it's like, okay.
She had to drink on that.
She had to take a sip.
She had to drink on that. Okay.
So speaking of, you know, sex and everything. So if a girl you were interested in, and she wanted to wait, like you said, Steve Harvey's 90 days. Would you be willing to wait, or is that something you wouldn't?
Yeah, I'll be willing to wait, but I'm still gonna date.
How?
Why?
Okay, so
Because
are you gonna?
No, because we not committed. Like,
I said that you're interested in.
right.
He said even if he's interested, he's gonna date multiple women. He thinks that's healthy.
If we
He has made that
get
very
to a
clear.
point where you say, look, I really want this to be exclusive, and I see that the
Is
qualities
it okay
are
that
in
she
you.
say that? I don't mean to interrupt.
Yes, it's okay that she said she
That
wants
she
to
says
feel
it
that.
first.
I don't necessarily have to agree with it,
right?
But she can say it. But if I do agree with it, yeah, I'll be willing to wait because I will feel that she's worth that wait.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But if I don't agree with it, then I'm saying, well, look, I get where you're coming from, but I'm still gonna date because I'm still not really sure in where we're gonna go.
Right.
Look at I'm sitting here looking at him like.
How you feel about that?
So okay, so let me ask you this. Okay, so you say you date multiple. I don't know how I feel about that, honestly. But you say you date multiple women, and then okay, say you decide that you're gonna be intimate with not intimate with more than one woman at the same time. How you date multiple,
Right.
You know,
that
stuff
dating
happens.
and intimacy is two different things.
Okay.
Of course.
I just wanted to clear that up.
Yeah, let's
You
clear
don't
that
have
up.
to sleep with all of them.
Exactly.
Well, I just want to
You
know
know
from
what
a
I'm
male perspective, you know, how do you view that? Because if you are intimate with a woman, you know that opens up the door to a whole nother.
I
a
just
whole
said,
nother level
you
of
open your legs,
expectation.
close your emotions.
Okay, but are you conscious of that? Though, are you sensitive
Absolutely.
to that?
I mean,
okay.
if you're a real man and you've been living, you come from a woman, so you know emotions. I mean, we all have mothers. We all was in the womb, so we know that you're going to have an emotional attachment when you are intimate.
A lot of men don't understand that, Stevie. You just have a special relationship with your mother. Everybody's relationship with their mother is not like yours.
It's not even like about my mother. I'm talking about just being a man.
But they just don't have a respect for women. Is my point.
Okay, now you can't say that.
It's
Right,
just
just like
different.
you said, some women have daddy issues, some men have, mother issues.
They don't
Yeah,
see it how
yeah.
you just said, I come from a woman. I think that's been instilled in you since you were a child, honestly.
Yeah, I mean,
And so-
I got love not just from my mom, I got love from my dad as well. So I mean, saying all that to say, you can have both parents in the household and still be a
Right.
jackass.
I've seen that
You
too.
know, so I mean,
Right.
yeah, I don't know.
See, dating for me.
Y'all got some questions.
Yeah.
Hear that, hear what y'all got to say.
We got a
What
lot.
do y'all have to say?
Amen.
Let me pull it
okay.
up closer.
When you met, I guess he said when you meet someone, you gradually.
Open your life up to that person. To the more time you spend, the closer you become. To do that with multiple people is unfair. I agree with you, Robert. I think that. My mom said at least be honest.
That's what I'm talking about, Mom.
And then Robert said, "That's right, Chanel." See, Robert's my type of dude.
Loving this conversation, hey, Chanel. Keep the knowledge coming, guys. Thanks, Keela.
There was quite a bit of comments actually. Let's see. Letitia said, "And if your foundations line up, and it depends on the chemistry."
That's exactly right. That's
Right.
what I'm saying about the foundations of being equally yoked. I think that's
I guess
huge.
we just have to be honest, because I think a lot of times, if you like someone, I think for me, I don't know, guys. I mean, I think I have great discernment, but then maybe I don't, because some of the issues that I run into is that I always meet the person's representative. It's like, for whatever reason, when I meet people, it's a mystery. Like, they want to know what's it like to like meet Chanel, and then when they find out I'm just a regular person, then it turns into something different. You know, so I have to fight through all of that, and usually I'm like, oh, he's cool, you know, we vibing, but do have other intentions. What you mean?
I told her to take it easy.
Oh, my wine?
Oh, the wine.
I still got some more to go.
Yeah, she over here like, I'm about to sip this
I'm
tonight.
a wine connoisseur, okay?
So am I. I'm not gonna hate. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get me a little sip. Right?
Yeah.
Well, guys, I have cranberry juice.
Put me on blast.
I went to the gym today, so hey, gotta keep the heart. Red wine is good for the heart, right?
It is good for the heart.
I wish there were more men that had the similar outlooks as yours, you know.
I think that, you know, people say they want the truth, but the truth hurts.
No, the truth, I mean, the way that as long as you live by what you just articulated to us,
right.
Like, as long as that's your standard, that's great. I could live with that.
And so what if a man meets you and he's like, I like you. I don't want a relationship, but I like hanging out with you. I like our connection.
And what I'm going to say is, at this point at this space in my life, I need more. That's not going to work for me.
You need more, you want more.
I want more.
Right.
And I don't settle.
I'm not going to settle.
If that's what she wants, then
because he'll be saying, I like you 6 months from now, and we'll just be kicking it, and I could have met someone else, you know.
Or y'all could be kicking it, and he messing around and says, yo, I'm really digging you. I really want to take this to another level.
But that's like a risk.
Life is a risk, though.
It is. You got it.
And that's my thing. Like, that's what I'm saying. We can't put a time limit on life.
I think if there is an open line of communication, because, you know, we say what we would do until you're actually in that situation, and then you say, you know what, I really like him, and although he doesn't want to be in a relationship, you know, I want to see where it goes, but we would definitely have to be.
But you just stay on your P's and Q's on how much you open yourself up to him, and what you give to him. But at the same time, still kind of be free, because
I don't think that's fair, though, for him to tell me he don't want to be in a relationship, and then, you know, we're going out, you know, months at a time, and, you know, what if things move to the next level? Right. You know, where does that leave me? You know, we put in a year's time, and then he said, well, you know what, I told you.
This is not a science.
My biggest fear is that in a situation like that, because most of the time, in times past, I don't date a lot, but in times past, I've gotten that. I don't want to be in a relationship, and I'm like, well, okay, I'll embrace that for now. And then time goes on, and they'll come back and say, well, I told you I didn't want to be in a relationship. And now you have emotions.
Did he say that because you put pressure on him?
Maybe, I don't know.
I mean, just it's something to think about.
But most men say they don't want to be in a relationship because they want to date multiple women.
True.
So that's just the way
of that's true.
Having their cake and eating it too. And I don't know how I feel about that.
But then there are women there's women who step up to the plate or grab more of your attention and your affection than somebody who's just dating, because of what she brings to the table.
Okay, that too. But then what about, you know, women can be very vindictive. And you date multiple women, and then they find out, well, okay, he's dating her too. I don't think I can live with another woman coming to me and saying, hey, you know, I'm dating this guy, and they know that I'm dating him too.
You gotta be secure in.
I mean, I'm secure in that, but I don't think I would want that to happen, because you know it will happen. Yeah. You know, I mean, it doesn't have anything to do with my security. I just don't want to go through that.
Hey, I think once again, it comes back to self. It comes back to your truth, and once you get to that point, are you willing to compromise or do whatever it is you need to do? What do you want? What do you want more in life? Do you want to find out and live and see if the relationship is going to work, or do you want to be by yourself, or do you want to? You know, it's a give and take, because you're gonna have to take a risk.
Yeah. I think
you're gonna have to take a risk,
depending upon who that person is.
That's what I'm saying. It's circumstantial.
And the conversation and the chemistry. You know, I'd be willing to take a risk. I know me. So, I mean, I'll be honest. But it's scary nonetheless.
Yeah, it is. I mean,
I bring a lot to the table, so I don't think it's fair that I have to share. But, you know.
No, I get it. You know, I get it. I think it's very apparent, and we got to unpack this part.
Let's unpack it.
it's easy to be on a soapbox when you're sitting in a position where you're either married or you've been divorced. I don't know. I'm not saying
I've never been divorced. I'm
just saying. I pointed at you
married.
too.
Okay.
But it's easier to come from a perspective of a truth because your truth is different than someone who's never been married.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think, like, once again, it's because if you talk to a woman who's been married maybe twice, she might not even want to get married again. I'm cool on
That's
that.
True.
Like, I just want a companion, a partner. I just want to chill. Like, I'm good.
Right.
You know, and so I think it's relative for us to talk about perspective. So I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
How long did it take you and your husband to date and find out, you know, y'all gonna move to that next level and all this and all that?
It took a very long time because, like I said, I am very guarded with my emotions, and I don't, you know what I'm saying? It took me a long time.
So that's why you're not emotional, because you guarded with your emotions.
Right.
I got it.
So, I mean, it took.
And I'm emotional.
We know you.
It took a long time. Like, we've been together for a very long time, and we, of course, we went through our, you know, ups and downs, our trials and tribulations, and it was just whether or not I wanted to stick it out and go through it with him or not, you know.
Right.
So that's what that boiled down.
I think, like, with the dating thing, if I was able to have a conversation like how we're having, I think I would be open to it. But a lot of times men don't necessarily know how to communicate, and so you're stuck kind of trying to figure out or assume, or you like, I think, you know, you really don't know. But if he's okay with having that conversation and us doing check-ins from time to time, I think it'll be okay.
Yeah, because like with my husband, I was dating him. He was the first man that ever told me no, so it intrigued me, and he was the first person to challenge me. So.
Well, what if that was game though?
Huh?
I mean, obviously it wasn't, but a guy could run game like that, right? That's a part of it.
And nobody got better game than me, baby.
Oh Lord.
No.
So we have some comments here. So let's see. My mother, Jacqueline Scott, says, when he is honest, you have a choice.
Right, Mom.
And Letitia says, then don't sleep with him.
Don't sleep with him.
And then Yvonne, my aunt Yvonne, she says, you start off honest, he or she will know up front. She said, I start honest now. She started off honest, and she said he appreciates it.
Right.
And she said she's straight up, and he's honest with her. She said, we want to divorce our partner so we can share our lives together.
What?
I didn't get that last part. I was going to teach you went over there.
Our partners, we can share our lives. Okay, so
somebody's married.
Both of them got somebody.
Yes.
And
okay, so they're both married and they want to divorce their.
So they can share their lives.
They don't end up in that situation.
Yes.
Very carefully.
Woo, yes.
Very carefully.
And Robert says, you know what? Most men don't evaluate their own lives mentally, physically, nor spiritually first to make sure it is conducive for a healthy relationship.
That's why I said first love yourself, and that really goes into all of that. That's true.
Right. And then Stephanie Scott, this is my godmom. She says there are no guarantees that you get what you need from other people. Relationships are risky. Nobody wants to be hurt.
Nobody.
You're absolutely right. You're right.
It's true.
You're right. I must say, in this season, you know, one of the things that I'm really focusing more on is learning how to love myself. So
that's true.
I mean, I just am.
Because we gotta do that. Because we gotta continue to do self-inventory every day.
Right. I think, you know, if I'm happy, whether he's, you know, doing what I want or not, I think I'll be okay with it.
Yeah. You'll be happy either way.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. Robert says it's okay to show your cards to the right person. My godmom, she was just agreeing with me. And that's it, Letitia. Okay, he said that's it, Chanel. Right. Robert is deep now.
Yes.
He's deep. He often send me DMs.
So why you and Robert on date if he's so deep?
Hey, on blast.
Yeah,
Robert. Why
you got
you
now
with the
what's
girl?
up?
Robert lives in a different state.
Oh, okay.
Long distance relationships work all the time.
I don't
FaceTime.
Tools for the incompetent.
Robert, where you at, Robert?
It's real. I'm just saying, you all on Robert's bandwagon. I mean, out here this day. Right.
Well, I was on your bandwagon too, so don't try to call Robert out.
No, but you disagree with a lot of the things I said.
Here on Let's Talk Girl Talk. You talk about being on Robert bandwagon. I'm about to call you out.
Call me out.
They make
claims? Oh, hey, TLC.
Got that air.
Right. Yeah, fly.
I don't see anything funny with what you guys are saying.
I'm just saying, man. Rob, he out here. He putting himself out here on live.
Rob, he just was agreeing with me. Y'all don't know if Rob is in a relationship.
Are you
He can't be in a relationship if he say, hey, they make plans. I'm just saying.
Exactly.
He's playing himself. All right, I'm done. Anyway.
All right, so that's it, y'all. Get Robert off of his soapbox.
So, what do you, as we wrap up, what do you want to say to women from a male's perspective that are single and that's looking for that guy?
Wait. Say that again.
I don't even remember what I said now.
She said she wants you to give, I guess, some closing thoughts to a single woman, myself, and a woman who's in a place where they want to meet the right one.
Yeah.
That's kind of like a broad question, but that's what she said.
I mean, I gotta subscribe. I just gotta subscribe to. I'm gonna subscribe to what I said initially, and that's first loving yourself and really giving yourself, being the best you, right? Because if you're the best you, then there's certain things you're not gonna compromise. There's a certain area you can walk around in, but you can still walk around knowing your confidence and your worth, but still being humble enough to accept someone else's flaws.
Right.
Like I dated a woman that I knew we weren't equally yoked on like finances, we weren't equally yoked on achievements and accomplishments, right? But I still dated her because I seen something else in her that drew me to her. So I think that, but at the same token, once you, I gave myself a chance. At least I took the risk to do it. It didn't work out, but at least
if you already knew that you weren't.
Yeah, I think you kind of already knew going into it.
No, I did. But the thing is,
because
her spirit was, her spirit was higher than where she was tangibly, and I gave that a chance.
I have a question.
You felt like you could change her?
No, it wasn't about changing her. It was more so about. It was more so about us. I was just at a point in my life, in a season in my life where I felt like I put pressure on myself, and I got pressure from family and friends to, get married, and hey, you really should do this. And so I gave a person a chance that maybe I probably wouldn't have under other circumstances, but it was a great learning experience for me because it still gave me a chance to, love. It gave me a chance to experience, new situations and lessons in life. I say this all the time. In school, you get the lesson and the test, but in life, you get the test and the lesson. And so it was a really great lesson for me, and I'm gonna be able to use it, moving forward in my life.
I have a question for you because we haven't touched on this, and this is like huge for me. How do you balance being a dad and dating? That whole scenario.
I mean, my child's mother and I, we're amicable for the most part, so our co-parenting situation is pretty cool. So it gives me the autonomy to do what I need to do, but I'm not going to introduce a woman to my daughter unless I know it's like the real deal. You know what I'm saying? And like, it's just, unless I know I'm putting enough energy into it where I see it possibly moving forward. And you can do that and then not move forward. Right. But once again, that's a risk you take. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a part of life. And I'm not.
Do you lean towards dating women that already have children because they better understand?
No. I mean, before I had a child, I was kind of like against dating a woman with especially multiple children, because I was like, man, dang, I don't have a child. I don't have one yet. Like, I'm coming into a situation where I would have to take on her as a responsibility and her children, plural.
She would be a responsibility?
Yeah, you don't think your husband is a responsibility? You're responsible for him in a lot of ways. You're responsible to be his helpmate. You're responsible to be his rib.
Yeah.
And so
I guess it's the word responsibility.
But that's a reality though.
Yeah. I agree with you totally. One of the issues that I have with that is not allowing another woman to have influence in my life, especially when you have a young child and that child has a mother. Then I've seen situations where they can try to control, and then now they influence in my house. I don't like that.
And especially with the vindictive piece, because she could still have attachment, or even if it was the child's father, could still have an attachment and try to manipulate things, and that's where your bond just has to be super strong. And that's why it's even more difficult when people have children, because that's an added aspect of a relationship that you got to deal with.
Right.
You know, it's like, dang, it's hard enough for us to just move forward with just us, and then now you got the children, then the extended family.
Yeah, you got more.
So you don't use, like, I'm gonna ask you, you don't use your daughter like as a crutch. Like men, they'll be like, they'll make it all about their child, as if you're not your own self. Like,
Man, look,
like
I tell people all the time, my purpose is greater to me than my child. Because before I had a child, I had a purpose.
Right.
And my child is a part of my purpose.
Absolutely.
But she's not more important than my purpose. Because once again, she belongs to God. I just got to be a good steward over her.
Right.
Because when
she gonna up and leave one day.
She's gonna leave. She's gonna get married. She's gonna do whatever she's doing. And I just have to instill my truth in her and be a good steward over her, and as much as I can. Because just like relationships don't have a science, being a parent doesn't. It's not a science.
Right.
There's so many different variables that we got to look at when we're talking about that. So
see, most men don't know how to balance either. So
I think you need to get. I think you need, Chanel. I think you need to give more brothers.
It is a good catch, but me and Stevie, we kill each other.
No, we wouldn't. I ain't killing nobody. I ain't killing nobody.
So anyway, guys, it's almost time to wrap.
It has been a great conversation. I want to thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
It has
Thank
been
you.
a pleasure.
It absolutely has.
And I've gained understanding, and I'm not even still.
Right.
You know,
I think it's all about perspective. Because when you can step outside of yourself and see where someone else is coming from, I think that's an amazing thing to do. Because then now you're able to kind of say, well, okay, I can take the meat of what they're saying and leave the bones.
Right.
Because I stepped outside of my old box of thinking and my truth, and that's the absolute truth. And I think that when you're able to do that and you see that someone has good intent behind it, because I'm going to tell a quick story.
Okay.
Say you and I are sitting here conversing, and I cough, and I spit on your shoe. She was walking by, she just saw me spit on your shoe. She didn't know I was coughing. So you just seen, you can only believe none of what you hear and half of what you see, because you don't know the intent behind what something was dealing with. So it's the same thing with intentions. Like when we look at the intent of a thing, then it gives us better insight. But until we step outside of ourselves, you won't be able to see the intent sometimes.
Right.
Because we're so locked in on our ideas.
Right. That's true. But I think with an open line of communication and, you know, connecting with someone who's really willing and open to having that, because, you know, nowadays when you first meet someone, they don't want you to ask them no questions. They don't want to talk about nothing.
Yeah, I mean, we can go look at this blood work. We can go do all that. Let's go.
See,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
he might be a good candidate.
No, I'm being real, because the thing is, whatever comes out on the blood work, either you're gonna take it or leave it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's where it's at.
Yeah. Right.
But once again, you giving a person autonomy to know whether or not they want to be there or not.
Absolutely.
yeah, both parties have to be upfront and honest about who they are in the beginning.
That's hard too. That's hard not just in Atlanta. That's hard anywhere. Because I'm gonna put my best face on for you.
Yeah. You never really show them who you really are, not at first.
Come on.
So it's hard to be.
I'm gonna have the best haircut. I'm gonna have the best you know. You gonna have the makeup on. You don't want me to see you without your face done. Y'all call it beat. You don't want to see you without being beat. You know what I'm saying?
But I don't know, Stevie. You make me feel real comfortable. You might see this face. Well, you've seen this face not beat, but I'm just saying. It looks like you just meeting somebody new. Like you make a person feel comfortable.
But on the first few dates, that first month, you're gonna be on point with everything, at least to the best of your ability. So yeah. Well, thank y'all for having me. I mean, I had a good time.
Did you share?
Yeah, I just wanted to tell y'all I'm an author of a book called Greater Than the Game. You can pick it up on StevieBaggsJr.com or GreaterThanTheGame.com. And look, man, come holler at us at Dream Cafe. We do open mic every Thursday. We have game night every Saturday, adult game night, and then we have Conscious Conversation on Wednesday nights, which that's where I'm about to go right now. So, love y'all, man. Please, ladies, thanks. Keep doing what you're doing.
Tell them where they can find you.
You can find me. Everything is Stevie Baggs Jr. That's at StevieBaggsJr on everything. Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Facebook. Now go put your face in a book and get ready to the game. Holla at me, baby. Yeah.
Go ahead, Krys.
All right, okay, we're signing off, guys. This is Krys King. Like I said, author of Cross the Love. You can find Cross the Love at all your online retailers. And if you go to KrysKing.com and put in Cross Talk, you will get free shipping on all your orders and a free gift. Chanel. Oh, and you can find me at Lovesick, LUVVSYC on Instagram and Twitter.
All right, it's your girl Chanel, the creator of Ministry. You can find me on all social media platforms at Chanel Nicole Scott. You can also find me at Ministry on Twitter and Facebook, and Ministry Promo on IG. Also have an event coming up September 30th, y'all. September 30th, 6 p.m. League Tavern. We have an amazing panel set up for you guys. So go ahead and RSVP for your free tickets on Eventbrite.
She don't put me on the panel no more after the first one. I will talk about that next time.
They did my first 2 panels with me, actually, and I do put you on the panel.
Love y'all.
Don't be saying that.
Peace.
Peace.